Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nishtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रिये कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 19, Sri Vamanadev, Lord Vamanadev begs charity from Bali Maharaj. So, in the last few verses till text number 17, we were discussing that Vamandev asked for only 3 paces of land because all the distresses in the material world come due to extravagance, not being satisfied with what one has and always craving and hankering and greedy for what others have. That is the root cause of suffering. And the root cause of happiness is to be satisfied with what Krishna has given us. So, one who has the shoes of satisfaction, the pinpricks of others, desires won't trouble that person. Because Gaur Gopal Prabhu shared this when he came to our college about 11 years back. One who is wearing the shoes of satisfaction, the thorns of desires won't trouble him, right? Satisfaction is actually real wealth, to be happy in what one has and not feeling jealous about the neighbor or about others or about the other co-worker or other friend. Oh, we were in the same school, oh, we were in the same college, look what he has and I have this. There will always be people more than us. The formula for misery is to keep looking for people who have more than us in material life. And the formula for being happy is to see, like when my father sent me a video and this person, lost his shoes outside some temple. He got new shoes and somehow he lost it. And then how would someone react? Or average person or even would feel miserable about it, right? Oh, I got new shoes worth, $50 or $100 or whatever, and I lost them. But this person was not an average. He was a very nice gentleman. Then he saw a person who's not having even the feet, who doesn't have the legs to walk. He's crawling on the ground. Would anyone then cry about the shoes or be grateful for the legs we have? So it's all a matter of how we see things. Same things, people perceive it and see things differently. On the spiritual life, we should always see people who are devotees who are higher than us so that we get inspiration. In the material life, we should always see people who are lower, not in the terms to say I'm better, but we will be humble and we'll be grateful. Krishna has given me much more than I deserve and much more than I need, actually, which is true for most of the people who are at least present on this call or who are hearing. Krishna has given a lot more than what we deserve and what we need. Anyways, let's keep going to today's section. Let's see what Bali Maharaj speaks. Shri Balirovacha Aho Brahmana Dayada Vachaste Vridha Sammataha Twambalo Balisha Matihi Swartham Prati Abudho Yataha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bali Maharaj said, O son of a Brahmana, your instructions are as good as those of learned and elderly persons. Nonetheless, you are a boy, and your intelligence is insufficient. Thus, you are not very prudent in regard to your self-interest. Purport: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, being full in himself, actually has nothing to want for his self-interest. Lord Vamanadev therefore had not gone to Bali Maharaj for his own self-interest. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 5:29, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. The Lord is the proprietor of all planets in both the material and the spiritual worlds. Why should he be in want of land? Bali Maharaj rightly said that Lord Vamanadev was not at all prudent in regard to his own personal interests. Lord Vamanadev had approached Bali not for his personal welfare, but for the welfare of his devotees. Devotees sacrifice all personal interests to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And similarly, the Supreme Lord, although having no personal interest, can do anything for the interest of his devotees. One who is full in himself has no personal interest. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Isn't it? So deep to kind of contemplate on this point, that devotees sacrifice everything for the Lord, and the Lord is ready to sacrifice everything for his devotees. And so many examples are there. This case, Vamandev, he was not going to beg for land. Did he? There was like land shortage, demand and supply. No, he's the owner of everything. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam, everything belongs to him. Sarvalokam Heshwaram, all the not just one tiny universe. This 14 planetary system is just one small, part of an insignificant part of his creation. 1/4 of the creation is material world, and in the material world there are zillions of such planets. What to speak of this tiny one? The Lord does not need anything, but for his devotee, he is ready to become a beggar, isn't it? Basically he's become a beggar, correct? He's ready to become a driver. In Arjuna's case, willing to lift the chariot wheel against his own promise, because the Lord has no personal interest, but he can do anything for the interest of his devotees. This applies to the Supreme Lord and to the pure devotees. Why? Because they are full in themselves, like Srila Prabhupada. He had no personal interest to come to US. No, not to get visa, not to get citizenship, green card, job, or money. Why did he come? Not for his own interest, but to sacrifice all the personal interest to satisfy the Supreme Lord, to satisfy the Guru. Their interest is their main interest, not the selfish interest. So very, very deep statement, both these two. I really like those. So Bali Maharaj was right that you're not very prudent in your self-interest. So in short, Bali Maharaj is telling her, you are just a boy. Balishu matihi, your mati, your intelligence is like a child. If you give a child, the child, let's say, is picking your 50,000 rupee or $1,000 iPhone, right? And the child does not know what to do with it. The child does not know what is this, what's the worth. And you give the child a candy, right? The child will take the candy, which is 50 cents, and give the $1,000 phone back, right? So less intelligent. So same here, Bali Maharaj is telling, hey, Vamandev, you are a tiny Brahmana. You're talking big things, but your intelligence is very low. So let's see what happens further. Ekant Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Mam vachobi samaradhya lokanam ekam ishwaram padatrayam vriniteyo buddhimam dvipa da shausham. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. I'm able to give you an entire island because I'm the proprietor of the three divisions of the universe. You have come to take something from me and have pleased me by your sweet words, but you're asking only three pieces of land. Therefore, you are not very intelligent. According to Vedic understanding, the entire universe is regarded as an ocean of space. In that ocean, there are innumerable planets, and each planet is called Dvipa or island. When approached by Lord Vamanadev, Bali Maharaj was actually in possession of all the Dvipas or islands in space. Bali Maharaj was very pleased to see the features of Vamanadev and was ready to give him as much as land as he could ask. But because Lord Vamanadev asked only three pieces of land, Bali Maharaja considered him not very intelligent. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. You have any comments?
I mean, with this purport, I understood that God has his own plans, Prabhuji. We may think, oh, why did he do that? But with our just limited senses, we just cannot judge him. And one more point that really struck me was the features of Vamanadev, and I feel, I don't know, I really like that. I like that point because the God is so beautiful. So anybody will be so mesmerized by him, and when he's just in front of us, that point really struck me, Prabhuji. And please comment. That's what I understood. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Very nice. So in this verse also, Bali Maharaj is telling you are abuddhinam. Buddhi means intelligence. Abuddhi means opposite. Your intelligence is very shallow. It's like you go to a multi-billionaire, right, to ask for something, and you say, "Sir, my dear sir, I just want like 50 cents. Can you please give it to me?" What will he say? Are you crazy? The servant of my servant can give you that, right? And you have come all the way to me to ask for 50 cents. It's like insulting, right? I can give you a lot more than that. I can give you the whole island here. Bali Maharaj is the ruler. So what does pa mean? Pa, bhumi rapo nalo vayu. Dvi pa. Pa means here water. Dvi means two. Surrounded by water on two sides. Island. Dvipa. We have read in the canto 5th of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Apa, yeah. Bhumi, apa, nalo vayu. Right? Dvipa. Like Jambu Dweep, Pushkar Dweep, all these dweepas are there, which were created by Maharaj Priyavrat, by the chariot. You know, seven times these seven dweepas were created in this, and all separated by water. Water also different, some salt water, some sugar water, some juice and ghee and whatnot. So there's a lot of details, and every dweepa is mountains and whatnot. But the point is that Bali Maharaj has a lot more capacity to give than just three pieces of land, and therefore he is telling you are not very intelligent by asking a multi-billionaire only 50 cents. Not a very good idea. So please ask. I am very happy with you. You are so young, beautiful, kind words. So I want to give you a lot more. I'm the proprietor of the three worlds. So make your choice carefully. Let's see what happens next. Yes, Punah Mataji, want to read?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavata. Text 20. Napuman mamupa prajya bhuyo yati chumarhati tasmad briti karim bhumi bato kam pratichat me. Translation. O small boy, one who approaches me to beg something should one have to ask anything more, should not have to ask anything more anywhere. Therefore, if you wish, you may ask from me as much land as will suffice to maintain you according to your needs. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Back to you.
Very good. So, Bali Maharaj is pretty much here the ruler. And he's saying that once you come to me to ask, and then you have to go somewhere else to ask, it's insulting. Right? Right? Once a kind of a beggar or a mendicant has approached this person and then he has to go somewhere else, that means that that provider could not sufficiently provide that beggar, that mendicant, that brahmana. It's an insult to me. That tomorrow I don't want you to go to Tom, Dick, Harry and ask, can I get 3 more pieces of land? So Bali Maharaj is telling, ask something big, think big. So I want to give you whatever you want, so that for the rest of your life you don't have to ask anything in anyone, anywhere. So, because Bali Maharaj was practically ruling the 3 worlds. Let's see, what did the Supreme Lord change his plan after, Bali has been kind of, in the last 3-4 verses, he's been like pressing the Lord to get more, right? If an ordinary person, ordinary, say, oh, more, then he will just end up doing it, right? Oh, well, you're so much pushing, then give me this also, right? Let's see what the Supreme Lord said. Yes, who has not yet read today? Renuka Mataji, you want to read? Arundhati Mataji?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Renuka. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat Pranam. Text 21. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Yavanto Vishaya Prestha Strilokya Ajitendriyam Na Shaknuvanti Te Sarve Pratipuryayitum Rupa. Translation and purport by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. The personality of Godhead said, "O my dear king, even the entirety of whatever there may be within the 3 worlds to satisfy one's senses cannot satisfy a person whose senses are uncontrolled." Purport. The material world is an illusory energy to deviate the living entities from the path of self-realization. Anyone who is in this material world is extremely anxious to get more and more things for sense gratification. Actually, however, the purpose of life is not sense gratification, but self-realization. Therefore, those who are too addicted to sense gratification are advised to practice the mystic yoga system or Ashtanga yoga system, consisting of Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, and so on. In this way, one can control the senses. The purpose of controlling the senses is to stop one's implication in the cycle of birth and death. As stated by Rishabhadeva, Nunam pramatta kurite vikarma yad indriya pritaya aprunoti na sadhu manye yata atmanoyam assan api kleshada asa deha. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activities. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. Bhagavatam 5.5.4. Thus, according to Rishabhadeva, the human being in this material world are just like madmen engaged in activities which they should not perform, but which they do perform only for sense gratification. Such activities are not good because in this way one creates another body for his next life as punishment for his nefarious activities. And as soon as he gets another material body, he is put into repeated suffering in material existence. Therefore, the Vedic culture or Brahmanical culture teaches one how to be satisfied with possessing the minimum necessities in life. To teach this highest culture, varnashrama dharma is recommended. The aim of the varnashrama division, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa, is to train one to control the senses and be content with the bare necessities. Here, Lord Vamanadeva, as an ideal brahmachari, refuses Bali Maharaj's offering to give him anything he might want. He says that without contentment, one could not be happy even if he possessed the property of the entire world or the entire universe. In human society, therefore, the Brahminical culture, Kshatriya culture, and Vaishya culture must be maintained, and people must be taught how to be satisfied with only what they need. In modern civilization, there is no such education. Everyone tries to possess more and more, and everyone is dissatisfied and unhappy. The Krishna conscious movement is therefore establishing various farms, especially in America, to show how to be happy and content with minimum necessities of life and to save time for self-realization, which can very easily achieved by chanting the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you. Hare Krishna.
You want to share some thoughts, Mataji? Thank you for
So
reading.
here Prabhupada is trying to mention that controlling senses, so that we can use our senses and our time for realizing ourselves why we are taking this human form. So we know that out of 84 lakh species, human form is very rare, and we achieved this form. In this form also, we have all the facilities, like we are not thinking about our like everyday food and all. So we have a good position, like we got all the necessities in life to live this form. So we have to utilize our time, and we have to minimize our bare necessities, what is required to maintain this body and soul together, so that we can use our time in certain particular things, so that we can get the next destination, so that we can have a next better life. Maybe in the devotee family we will take birth, or like we can have a good position, so that we can serve Prabhupada's mission and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, so that we can go back to Goloka Vrindavan in this lifetime itself, if we use the time properly. So that's what I understood, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji, so much. Very, very important words, and very amazing purport. Therefore, Prabhupada is giving a detailed purport that one can possess the wealth of the three worlds, but one cannot be happy. Right? On the contrary, one can have very minimal things and one can still be happy. So the happiness is not a question of how much wealth one has. Are all the billionaires very happy people in the world? Are all the millionaires very happy people? No. We have so many gadgets and this and that. Ultimately, it's why are these gadgets? To help us to save time, correct? But ultimately, what happens? We still don't have time for spiritual life, correct? So many important points are there. The Vedic culture is to help us to be content with the bare necessities of life. Very, very important point. There is enough for everyone's need, but not enough for one man's greed or one person's greed. It's like putting fuel in the fire. The fire of desires will keep swallowing the fuel of possessions. There is no end. There is no end to sense gratification, or to mental sense gratification, gross sense gratification, subtle sense gratification. There is no end. The fire will keep swallowing. And will the fire die down? No, the fire will not die down. What's the basic principle? We may have studied in our childhood. To cut off the fire is to stop the fuel, right? Or to put a barrier so that the fire does not touch the the fuel. So if we keep adding, we'll not be satiated. Nowadays, even there's a culture called minimalism. If you Google or minimalistic life, and all those people, I was reading some, they say they feel so happy. They feel so organized. This has nothing to do with Krishna consciousness, but what our Vedic principle are teaching is basically the same. That live a minimalistic kind of life, that we have for ourselves and for the devotees, and use the rest of the time to focus more on Krishna consciousness. Because more we grow our desires, then we have to spend more time in maintaining them, right? Then we need, if the house is, one can live in a 2-bedroom house and one can live in a 20-bedroom house, right? Now, will the maintenance cost be different? Absolutely, it will be different. Will the amount of hard work required to maintain it be different? Absolutely, it will be different. Will the time change? Will the 24 hours change for a person has 1 bedroom or 10 bedroom or 100 bedroom? The 24 hours remain the same. So, well, where will the time come from? Then how we utilize those 24 hours will change. So a person can be happy with one job, and for some people work 5 jobs. Some people work in so many businesses. Like one person came to Prabhupada, oh Prabhupada, I have this factory in Jaipur and this in Delhi and this in Bombay, and I don't have time. I'm so busy, so much stress and so much management, this. And Prabhupada said, well, you give your factories to us. You have a lot of anxiety. Why don't you give your factories to us? We will take care of them. You just chant Hare Krishna. He didn't show up again. Prabhupada said, take his number. He's too much stressed. You want to relieve his anxiety. Prabhupada was genuinely trying to be a well-wisher. But the problem is so much attachment. We have received this body. Prabhupada said this body is like a bad bargain. Getting this body is not a very great thing. This body means we have done a lot of anartha, a lot of sinful activities. Therefore, we are struggling in this material world. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi jatare jatare shainam. In this cycle of birth and death, we are going. But in this lifetime, in this human lifetime also, if we choose to just work hard and party harder, get bigger homes, get bigger cars, get bigger jobs, get bigger this, bigger that, and forget Krishna, no time for bhakti, no time for Bhagavatam, no time for chanting, or no time for service, then we didn't make good use of this bad bargain. Prabhupada said, make the best use of the bad bargain. Now we have got this birth, we can't undo it. At least we should be grateful we have got a human life. Now the best use of the bad bargain is to engage as much as possible in the process of Krishna consciousness. Take care of the family, take care of the home, etc. But you have to understand that there will not be an end point. We will find people living in the mansions in Hawaii or whatever I don't know what are the most expensive places, but I believe it's expensive there. So, and there will be people living in straw huts also. So we don't have to artificially kind of do something, but the point is that yes, we have to try to live by these Vedic principles and develop the quality of satisfaction, develop the sense that whatever Krishna has given me, whatever is my dutiful work, we don't have to stop working. At the same time, we don't have to over-endeavor also. Over-endeavor is discouraged in scriptures. Atyahara prayasascha. So we do our dutiful job, 8-9 hours, and whatever has to come will come, right? And then if it comes more than Krishna, what we need for our maintenance, then we give more in charity. Very simple, right? That's the Vedic principle. So we have more time for bhakti. Everyone, Prabhupada is writing, everyone in modern civilization, You can raise your hand if you agree with this. There is so much education. There is no such education. Everyone tries to possess more and more, and everyone is dissatisfied and unhappy. Do you agree with that? Raise your hand or thumbs up or whatever. Thumbs down. I don't know. You agree? There is so much education and college and degrees, but what's the outcome? Everyone is dissatisfied and unhappy. But the Krishna consciousness movement is giving that real happiness. So there are so many devotees like that. They're just so happy, so blissful. They may have nothing compared to in the material sense, but they have the wealth of bhakti, the wealth of satisfaction. That's true wealth. So we should also try to develop that. Whatever Krishna has given us, we try to use in his service and be happy, be grateful, be satisfied. Otherwise, people will say, oh, your home is small. Oh, you have only 2-bedroom home. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, look at my home. It's 5-bedroom or it's 10-bedroom. Oh, I have a special thing in my home also. I have this view, that view. Your home looks so old. And we don't have to worry about what people say. We have to see what Bhagavatam is saying. Because what is the priority of my life? Is my priority to get a bigger home, or is my priority to focus more on my spiritual life? Right? Bigger home, bigger maintenance, bigger challenges. So we have to nicely balance. Any other thoughts, comments anyone has? Okay, so we will pause here and continue tomorrow. I think we'll do in the evening only, tomorrow evening. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Samahita Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.